Dating someone with unhealed trauma. Watch this first, you're falling for someone. You see their smile, their laughter, the way they hold your hand just a little tighter when they're scared. You feel the connection, the depth, the possibility of something real. But underneath all of that, there's something else too. A heaviness you can't explain. An emotional distance that shows up when you least expect it. Moments when they pull away, shut down, or explode. Not because of something you did, but because of something they're still carrying. And you start to wonder, am I helping them heal, or am I losing myself trying? Because dating someone with unhealed trauma isn't just about patience and love. It's about understanding the weight you're picking up, and knowing when that weight is no longer yours to carry. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You can love someone with all your heart, and still not be able to heal what they refuse to face. And if you're not careful, trying to save them can slowly destroy you too. In this video, we're going to talk about what it really feels like to date someone with unhealed trauma. The signs you're carrying emotional weight that isn't yours, the cost of staying too long, and how to protect your heart without losing your compassion. Before you give more of yourself to someone who might not be ready for it, watch this first. At first it feels magical, they're different, they're deep, they understand pain in a way that feels familiar. There's an intensity, a spark that feels bigger than any relationship you've had before. You think, maybe this is what real love is supposed to feel like, and for a while it's beautiful, but slowly, you start noticing things. Emotional highs and lows. One day, they're wide open, pouring out their heart, letting you in. The next, they're distant, cold, like a wall you can't climb over. You chase the highs, cling to the good moments, hoping they'll come back. Walking on eggshells, you start second-guessing yourself. Should I bring that up? Will this trigger them? Is it safer if I just stay quiet? Their past traumas become landmines, and you spend more energy avoiding explosions than building connection, feeling like you're saving them. You tell yourself, if I love them enough, maybe they'll feel safe. If I'm patient enough, maybe they'll heal. You take on their pain like it's your responsibility, slowly trading your peace for their comfort. Deep connection, but deeper instability. The bond feels real, almost addictive. But underneath the intensity is a constant instability, like standing on ground that could crumble at any moment. You never quite know if you're building something real, or just holding up something that's already falling apart. And the hardest part, you love them, you see their wounds, you understand why they hurt the way they do, but love doesn't erase the emotional weight you're carrying, or the cost you'll pay if it continues. You may not even realize it's happening, but if you're carrying their emotional work on your back, here's how it usually shows up. 1. You overthink everything you say. You walk on eggshells, constantly editing yourself just to avoid setting them off. 2. You excuse bad behavior because of their past. You justify their anger, distance, or mood swings because they've been through a lot. 3. You feel responsible for their emotions. When they're upset, you feel guilty, like it's your job to fix it even if you did nothing wrong. 4. You start losing yourself. Their needs take priority. Their moods control the energy of the relationship. Your own desires start shrinking to keep the peace. 5. Their trauma becomes the center of your relationship. Instead of building something together, everything starts revolving around managing their pain. If any of these sound familiar, it's not because you're weak. It's because you're loving someone who hasn't learned how to carry their own healing yet, and it's costing you more than you realize. You can love someone with everything you have, with patience, loyalty, understanding, and the deepest compassion, and still not be able to heal the wounds they refuse to face. Because here's the hard truth, love is powerful, but healing is personal. You can be the safest place they've ever known. You can show up consistently. You can hold space for every tear, every breakdown, every triggered moment. But if they don't choose to heal themselves, if they don't want to look at the broken places inside of them, there's no amount of love that can fill that gap for them. Because healing isn't something you can do to someone. It's something they have to do with themselves. You see, when someone carries unhealed trauma, there's often a part of them that believes love should fix it. That if they find the right person, their pain will magically disappear. And when they meet someone like you, someone empathetic, strong, willing to love them through their darkness, it feels like salvation. At first, but eventually the weight of their own unprocessed hurt starts leaking into the relationship. They start expecting you to be their stability, their therapist, their emotional anchor, and that's not love anymore, that's survival. The truth is, you can hold their hand through the storm, but you cannot walk their healing for them. You are not the solution to their suffering. You are not responsible for fixing what someone else broke inside of them, and no matter how deeply you love them, if they don't do the work themselves, your relationship will become a battlefield between what you hope it could be and what their trauma won't let it become. You can love them, but love alone? It's not enough to heal a wound they won't touch. And knowing that, truly accepting that, is the first step toward protecting your own heart. Here's what no one tells you when you're loving someone with unhealed trauma. It doesn't fall apart all at once. It erodes, piece by piece, silently, while you're busy trying to hold it all together. And you don't even notice how much you're losing until one day you look in the mirror and realize you're not you anymore. Emotional burnout. You wake up tired, not just physically but emotionally. Loving them feels like carrying a weight you can't set down. You're constantly managing their moods, their fears, their past, and it's exhausting. No matter how strong you are, love without emotional partnership drains you. Loss of self-worth. At first you believe your love can change things. But when nothing changes, when the arguments, the shutdowns, the emotional distance keep happening, you start to wonder if you are the problem. You question your value. You start accepting less than you deserve, just to keep the peace. And slowly your sense of self, your confidence, your light, dims. Growing resentment. You don't want to resent them. You know they're hurting. But deep down resentment starts to build. You resent always being the strong one. You resent having to manage emotions that aren't yours. You resent feeling invisible when their trauma takes up all the space. And that resentment, it poisons the love you're trying so hard to protect. Emotional isolation. You feel alone, even when you're lying next to them. Because when someone's still fighting their own past, they're not fully present with you. You're giving your heart to someone who's still living halfway in another timeline, and it leaves you feeling unseen, unheard, unloved. The cost of staying too long isn't always a dramatic ending. Sometimes it's a slow, painful forgetting of who you are. 1,000 little sacrifices you made hoping love would be enough. But you deserve a love where you don't have to sacrifice your soul just to feel close to someone. And the longer you stay where you're not emotionally safe, the harder it becomes to find your way back to yourself. When is it worth fighting for? Not every relationship with trauma is doomed, but the difference between something you can fight for and something that will destroy you comes down to this. 1, they're aware of their wounds. If they can acknowledge their trauma without blaming you for it, if they can say, I know I'm carrying pain, that's a huge first step. Awareness means there's room for growth. 2, they're doing the work. Talking about healing isn't enough. Are they actually in therapy? Reading, learning, trying to manage their triggers instead of expecting you to absorb them? Effort matters more than promises. 3, they take responsibility, not just apologies. Everyone slips. But do they own it when they hurt you? Or do they just say sorry and expect you to move on without change? Real accountability is rare, but it's the foundation of real healing. If these signs are missing, it doesn't mean you didn't love enough. It means you can't heal someone who won't meet you halfway. And you deserve someone who fights with you, not someone you have to fight for. How to protect your heart without losing compassion. You can love deeply, you can understand someone's pain, and you can still protect your own soul in the process. Here's how. 1. Set clear emotional boundaries. It's not unkind to say, I love you, but I can't be your therapist. I'm here for you, but I also need space for my own emotions. Boundaries aren't walls, they're doors that open when trust is honored. 2. Stop trying to earn their healing. You don't have to work harder for them to feel whole. Their healing isn't a reward for your sacrifice, it's a journey they have to choose with or without you. 3. Stay compassionate, but stay honest. You can love them and still say, this isn't healthy for me right now. Compassion doesn't mean staying stuck, it means caring, while choosing yourself when necessary. Protecting your heart isn't selfish, it's how you make sure the love you offer stays pure and doesn't turn into self-destruction. Final reflection. Loving them doesn't mean losing you. You can love someone with your whole heart. You can see the broken pieces inside them and still want to stay. You can hold space for their pain, understand their triggers, walk beside them through their storms. But none of that means you have to lose yourself in the process. Loving them doesn't mean abandoning yourself. It doesn't mean shrinking your needs, silencing your voice, or accepting less than you deserve just because you know their story. It doesn't mean turning your heart into a battlefield where your worth is sacrificed in the name of understanding, because love, real healthy love, never demands that you disappear to keep it alive. You can care deeply. You can believe in their potential. You can pray for their healing and wish them peace. But if they are not choosing growth, if they are not choosing to do the work, if they are not choosing to meet you with the same energy and honesty you bring, then, loving them at a distance might be the most powerful act of love you can offer, to them, and to yourself. Sometimes walking away isn't giving up. Sometimes it's giving yourself permission to heal too. Because you deserve a love that holds you, not weighs you down. A love that builds with you, not one that asks you to carry it alone. And the love you give to others, you deserve to pour that same love, that same compassion, that same gentleness back into yourself, starting now. If you're still here with me right now, it's because you have a heart that fights for people. You love fiercely. You believe in second chances. You see the good even through the cracks. And that is beautiful. But don't forget, your love is valuable. Your energy is sacred. Your healing matters just as much as anyone else's. You're allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to choose yourself, even when you love them. And you're allowed to walk away from anything that asks you to shrink just to survive. Drop a comment below, even if it's just "I choose myself." You never know who needs to see your courage today. Subscribe if you want more content about real relationships, emotional healing and self-worth. No fluff, no cliches, just truth and growth. Like if you find this video really useful, because healing isn't selfish, it's how you finally love yourself back to life, and I promise you, the love you've been pouring into people who couldn't hold it, one day it will be matched, fully, freely, without fear. But it starts with you, and you're already on your way.